Happy Sunday. Welcome, Simon's Trading Channel. Thank you so much for joining me. Just got to start this video with an apology for the audio on yesterday's video. I think for some reason, if I wasn't speaking loud enough, the mic wasn't picking up my voice. So yeah, sorry about that. I hope you enjoyed the video anyway. And it just showed you how powerful AI is and what you can do with it. So yeah, sorry about that. Hopefully it won't be an issue today or again in the future. Okay, so I'm going to do a very much a traditional Simon's Trading Channel video today, looking at the price action. And, as I sneakily pick my nose. And what better way to start with this being a Sunday, so coming towards the end of the week on the petrol exchanges, to look at the weekly chart. And you can see here that I'm just on Bitstamp at the moment. With about 5 hours left, so there's still a fair bit to go. Although looking at that candle there, well, I'm not going to comment on that. So you've still got to wait for the closure, which has 5 hours to go. But it looks like it's going to close significantly higher than what CME did, mate. Not far off $1,000. Which is gonna put an interesting gap on the CME chart. So if I flick from one to the other, you'll see it's not quite as grandiose when you look at it like that. Let's try again. Yeah, you can see there's a bit of a difference. Okay, maybe it won't be too big a gap, but there certainly is a difference in where CME closed at 53.7 to where Bitstamp's likely to close, say, 54.5, although there's still 5 hours to go. And what is it? Well, it's just more consolidation. I got the Bollinger Bands on just because nice visual way to show narrow consolidation with no significant expansion in volatility. So the width of the bands, yeah, all right, you could say it's sort of edging down, but I wouldn't be surprised if this starts to turn down as well. So that's not increasing volatility, it's just kind of consolidation. But having said all that, if there was to be volatility expansion from this position, that would be to the downside, almost certainly. Interestingly, so basically the Bollinger Band lower band is like pretty much, well, it's kind of where CME closed. We'll just call it 54. Now, this needs to have another weekly closure to update its price, but I'm intrigued to see if this shifts somewhere down closer to price action as of tomorrow, and I'll check in on that. But as you can see at the moment, my momentum oscillator's getting ever so much closer to the zero line, and indeed the number to cross the zero line is still the same as it has been all week, 45,000, which is basically within this price action here, closer to the top. So, but that'll reset, and you'll get some new figure, or I'll get some new figures tomorrow, so I'll have a look at those then. Yeah, and for continued consolidation in the absence of volatility expansion to the downside, Bitcoin would need to close a weekly back above 63-ish at the moment, and that's on Bitstamp. It'll be slightly different on different exchanges. So yeah, we shall see what it says tomorrow. Now, I'm going to skip down to the daily, and you can see not a lot has happened over the weekend. In fact, pretty much nothing has happened over the weekend. There's been two very barely green days after the downside move born out of breaking this low, as I was suggesting in previous videos, and indeed it came right back down to around these levels. Now, it hasn't got as low as 50,000, so the current kind of wick low, but it's certainly around the daily closures of this low, and it's just sort of hovering there. there is expansion of this Bollinger Band, as you can see. So the lowish volatility that was occurring here has now started to expand to the downside because the price was below the midpoint. It's not really midpoint, the 20 SMA, before indeed the volatility starts to expand. And you can see that as well, momentum's to the downside still, and will remain falling while Bitcoin's below 56. That'll have another closure in about 5 hours as well. So, not a million miles away from 56, but not there. So, work to do. 56 on the charts, probably going to be here. Yes, it is. So it's a support resistance level, which I'll just bring on as a line. So, traders and investors, I don't know if investors do, but traders like to look for confluence between signals, and that certainly is one. So the MACD will turn up if Bitcoin closes daily back above 56, which should also be the support resistance level. See this wick here, these two closures here. So it's more likely to get resistance there on the way up than support. What would look good would be a break of that, followed by a retest, and then getting back above wherever it pulled back from. That would look absolutely delightful. And this would just then be another in a sequence of pretty uneventful lows. Yeah, man, it's just it is sideways and down, but it's just a consolidation. There's no clean breaks, to the upside or the downside. The pressure is to the downside, though, no doubt about it. There's just not any clean breaks. On the higher time frames. Yeah, of course on the lower time frames, but not on the higher time frames. So that would look good. And clearly for more downside, well, just down to potentially 50,000. Now, I will check in on the 4 hour, just to have a look. So you can see, so volatility expansion has cooled off on the 4 hour. You can see that in various ways. You can see the Bollinger Bands curling in and this one coming down, so they're going narrower again. Like just here, very narrow. When expansion actually occurred was probably around here, and the price was in the bottom section of the Bollinger Bands, if you like, and so there was expansion and a downside move. Now it's not going to take much to put Bitcoin back into the top of this Bollinger Band, which at the moment it's looking like probably only about $300 or $400 from where price is at the moment. It needs to be on 4 hour closures, remember. But for it to then expand to the upside, clearly it would need to get back above the support resistance line that I put on the daily to then push the Bollinger Bands to the upside. So price back above 54,750. That's way too accurate for my liking, but somewhere around there. Just means continued sideways on a 4 hour, and and then we'll see what happens. And I think I'm going to keep this relatively short and sweet. So I'll leave it at that for now. So if you're looking for more upside, at minimum, need a 4 hour daily back above, what should I call it? 54,750, fine. But probably for more convincing upside price action, back above 56 on daily or more time frames. And anything that doesn't achieve that is just going to the downside. All right, there you go, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, give me a thumbs up and a subscribe and a share. Share it with someone random. I'll see you tomorrow, and we'll check in and see where the weekly MACD numbers are on the perpetual exchanges. Take care. Bye-bye.